That's that last breath that we take, that breath goes back to God. You understand? So, everything it's all about change. Changing from water to wine, water to blood, wine to blood. Are you all understanding this, guys? This is very important to understand the Eucharist. If we don't understand the Eucharist, why do we go to Mass? We don't understand what we are doing there. And what are we receiving? We are receiving God. We are receiving His breath. We cannot live without water, we cannot live without air, we cannot live without bread, and that's what Jesus is giving us, okay?
We cannot live without our own face.
Yes? Okay. When we were talking about Jesus being tried, how many times did Jesus get tried? He got tried 7 times. Okay? 7 times by 7 different courts before they actually crucified Him. Okay? So He was tried by Annas, then His son-in-law Caiaphas, then He was tried by the Sanhedrin. Okay? And these 3 were all the Jews. Then He was tried by Pilate, and then Pilate tried to get rid of the problem. He sent Him to Herod. Herod said he wanted nothing to do with it. He sent Him back to Pilate. So these 3 are the Romans.
Israel.
Now think about this. You know how many laws the Jews broke by doing this kangaroo court between Annas, Caiaphas and the Sanhedrin?
360.
When a Jew was convinced of when a Jew was convicted of a crime, he was supposed to have his day in court. Okay? The panel that would sit there to bring a verdict of guilty or not guilty would consist of how many people?
3.
How many?
4. 8. 6.
The Sanhedrin consisted of 72 people. Okay, 72. That's 12 tribes of Israel times 6 people from each tribe. So 12 times 6, 72. Do we follow that?
Yes.
Okay, so but we did not to do a trial. Only 23 people were needed. 23 people from the Sanhedrin. So the full Sanhedrin didn't have to be seated there. Okay, so how many did they need? How many people? 23. 23 people, okay? The court case could only be done during the hours of daylight. So when did they run the court case for Jesus? They did it at night, so they broke another law. When Jesus was being tried by the Jews, if there was a convict, he was allowed to bring his witnesses. So the convict was allowed to bring witnesses to speak on his behalf. But when the Jews did the trial for Jesus, they brought witnesses, but whose witnesses were they?
The Jews.
They were the witness for the Jews against Jesus, not for Him. So they broke that law. Okay, you see all the laws they are breaking? Okay, so it was totally a kangaroo court. They had 23 of their people. There were a lot of people that also loved Jesus. It was not all of the Sanhedrin that were bad. Okay, because from the Sanhedrin itself, Nicodemus belonged to the Sanhedrin, and Nicodemus was a follower of Jesus. Okay, so all of the Sanhedrin were not against Jesus. But they only got this kangaroo court together. They had all planned that they were going to kill Jesus. They had already made up their minds. That's why when they were asking Jesus questions, Jesus preferred to stay silent, because He knew these guys have already got their minds made up. They are out to kill me. Okay, and Jesus told them several times during His life that, why are you allowed to kill me? Why are you all plotting to kill me? Jesus knew that, and they knew it. And they knew that Jesus knew it. Okay? So then we come to Pilate, to Herod and to Pilate. So 3 times He's tried over there, and then the last time Jesus is tried when He's actually dying on the cross. And all the people are looking up at Him and telling Him, if you are the Messiah, come down from the cross. So basically they're trying Him. That's the choice we make, right, with Jesus. We are choosing whether we are going to believe Him that He's the Messiah or not. And then Jesus dies. And then the last trial, and then actually the first person that accepted Jesus was who? That He was the Son of God. Who was the first person that accepted that Jesus was the Son of God? In the whole world, even before He resurrected from the dead, even before He came back to life, who was the first person that said that He was the Son of God? Who was it?
Mary.
Huh?
Moses.
Who?
Moses?
No.
Mary.
Who do you think? You know, Rick?
Edison.
Pilate?
Oh.
And Thomas Edison didn't exist.
We're talking about after he died.
His mom.
Centurion?
The centurion. It was a Roman centurion who was the first person who testified to Jesus that this is the Son of God. Okay?
Who's that?
So it was the Roman. The Jews disowned him, but the Romans accepted him. Okay, is it making sense?
Killed him.
Making sense.
The Romans, why did the Jews kill him, or why did the Romans kill him?
No, but the
Both of them
Romans
killed
killed
him.
him.
Why was Jesus killed? Why do you think? Why did they want to kill him?
He sinned.
Hmm?
He sinned.
Because of sin?
Because of one of his disciples betrayed him.
Okay, the disciple betrayed him, but why did they want to kill Jesus?
Betrayed him.
Do any of you know why Jesus was
Because
killed?
he's the king. He claims that he's the king of Jews.
You think that that's the reason why?
No.
Yeah, it is. He claimed that he was their king. He claimed that he was the Messiah, the one that was sent to save Israel.
They did not believe him.
But they did not believe him because they were looking for a different kind of Messiah.
Messiah.
They murdered him.
Messiah.
This kind of king on top of Jesus' head, and it says here is the king of the Jews.
Exactly. Did you all know that?
Uh-oh.
But the Jews had a king, so why would it matter?
The Jews had a king. Which king did the Jews have?
Jesus.
King Herod?
He was not there. Actually, the Jews did not accept Herod as a king. He was an Idumean. And according to Jewish law, he could not be a king because he was not from the line of David. That's why Herod was so mad
So that's why
all the
they
time
have
against the
to
Jews. So the Jewish king, the king of the Jews that the Jews had, which was King Herod, he was not the real king of the Jews. He was a fake, an imposter, who was put in place by who? Who made King Herod the king of the Jews?
No one?
When he wasn't even a pure Jew. He came from mixed blood. He was half Jew, and he didn't come from the line of David, so he couldn't be a king. But who made King Herod the Jew? Who made King Herod
God?
the king?
Was it God?
He was chosen by the Romans. Okay? The high priest. Remember we talked about the high priest?
Yes, high
This
priest.
all came from the time of Moses, right? And which tribe did the high priest have to come from?
Italy?
Anyone?
Or the Holy Roman Empire?
It had to come from the Jews, but then it had to come from a tribe, and then it had to come from a certain family. So, which tribe? It was the tribe of, what tribe did Moses come from? The tribe of Levi, right? So anyone that came from the tribe of Levi could be a priest. Listen guys, listen, this is very important. Anyone that came from the tribe of Levi could be a priest or serve in the temple. Okay? Now we have all the priests, right? We have a lot of priests in any church you go to, any Catholic church you go to. But who's on top?
God.
Who's on top?
Jesus.
Here we are talking about on earth.
Oh, the priest.
Okay, we have all the priests. Above the priest is who?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Above the priest is the bishop, above the bishop is the cardinal, and above the cardinals is the pope. So, the priest, and who's the head honcho or the big guy? Who's the big guy for us here on earth?
Oh.
It's on the pope. For the Jews, they had the priest from the tribe of Levi, but who was the one that could be the high priest? He had to come from a certain family. Not just from the tribe of Levi, he had to belong to the tribe of Levi, but he also had to come from a certain family. Whose family did he have to come from? He had to be a direct descendant of who?
Aaron.
Aaron. You know who Aaron is?
No.
Brother.
Aaron was the brother of Moses.
Oh.
And Aaron was the first high priest. So the high priest had to come from the line of Aaron.
David.
So the high priests that were serving the temple at the time Jesus was crucified, were they from the tribe of Levi, or were they direct descendants of Aaron? Were they? They were not. They were fake. Again, imposters just like King Herod. Okay? They were not real high priests. Because who gave them the position? Who put them in position?
The Jews.
The Romans. The Romans picked the high
Why was
priest.
part of the Romans though?
Okay? Yes, the Romans, because they were in power at that time. Okay?
Yeah, the
That's why.
Israel.
So they were not even supposed to be the real high priest. All right?
Whoa. I remember.
So the whole case and the whole thing against Jesus, it was all a manufactured fake trial, fake everything. Okay? Did Pilate find any guilt in Jesus?
No.
No, because Pilate said that this man has done no wrong. I find him innocent. He's not worthy or not deserving of death. He's not deserving of death. Pilate has already given his verdict, and yet Pilate sentenced him to death. Why did Pilate sentence Jesus to death?
I think it was the
Because he was what?
He was afraid that the Jews would like.
He was afraid that the Jews would revolt and that there would be a big riot and a lot of people would die. And there had been so many riots in Judea and Jerusalem or in that area of Israel that Rome was really mad, and they had told him that he was sent there to have peace. And they were always fighting and killing and all this stuff going on. And Rome had got really tired of it, and they told Herod, they had warned him that if he creates any unrest among the Jews where they would have to die, where more people were dying, that they would get rid of Pilate, and Pilate was just trying to save his job. Okay? That was the reasoning why Pilate wanted Jesus out of the picture. Any Jew that came to Pilate, Jesus was not the only threat. To Pilate, any Jew that could come into that area and create unrest or a riot, as far as Pilate was concerned, that person had to be eliminated. Do you understand?
Executed.
Okay, so you think about this. Why did the Jews have to take Jesus to Pilate to get him crucified? Why couldn't they just? Because the sin, as far as the Jews were concerned, if somebody committed blasphemy, and that was the reason why the Jews were killing Jesus. Blasphemy means speaking out against God. And Jesus, the reason why they believed Jesus was speaking out against God, because Jesus told them, I am God. Okay? So and he was a man, and they thought that he was making himself to be God. So he was blaspheming. Okay? So you know what was the sin? What was the crime? The crime of blasphemy, when the Jews caught somebody in the crime of blasphemy, you know what they would do? They would take them outside the wall of the city and they would pick up stones and they would stone him to death. So why didn't the Jews stone Jesus to death? See, again they use this excuse to Pilate. And they told Pilate, we are not allowed to put a man to death. Yes, that is true. Because at that time, Rome had taken away the death penalty from the Jews. They had taken away the death penalty, but were the Jews following the rules?
No.
They were just following the rules where it suited them. Okay, if you go to the book of Acts, it says that when Saint Stephen, the first martyr of the church, when he spoke to the Jews and they considered him guilty of blasphemy, did they take him to Pilate? What did they do to Stephen? They took him outside the wall and they stoned him to death. So if they stoned Stephen, why couldn't they stone Jesus? Because it was during the feast of Passover, and if they had stoned Jesus at Passover, it would have caused a riot. So they didn't want to take the blame on themselves, they just wanted to pass the buck. So everybody was passing the buck. They took him to Annas. Annas passed the buck to Caiaphas. Caiaphas passed the buck to the Sanhedrin. The Sanhedrin, they passed the buck to Pilate. Pilate tried to pass the buck to Herod. So who was involved in Jesus' death? Who was involved in Jesus' death? Who?
Everybody.
Everybody. So who is everybody? Who is everybody?
All of the people. All of the 6 were.
All of the 6 people? But you know why Jesus actually died? Why did Jesus die? Jesus came to die for what?
For our sins.
For our sins. So who killed Jesus?
Us.
We killed him. Just think about it. If you sin and you do something wrong, that means Jesus died for you. So our sins was the reason why Jesus was killed.
We're innocent.
You were more than
Think about that. Every time we sin, we kill Jesus.
At least
Yeah, every time we do something wrong, we are the reason why Jesus died.
At least it's 2016.
Every time we do something that hurts other people, we are the reason why Jesus was killed. It's an eye-opener, right? Isn't it?
Mind blowing.
Mind-blowing, yeah. But you know what is the good news? What's the good news in all of this? In all of this dirt and blood and guts, what is the good news?
He set upon the sin.
God
What is the good news?
news?
What do you think? Why do we call the Bible good news? You know we call it Bible, we call it the gospel, right? The gospel. Why do we call it? Huh? Let me show you something else. The gospel of Matthew.
Me.
The gospel of Matthew written to
My
who?
book.
I'm a gospel.
Who is the gospel of Matthew written to? To the Jews.
I'm a
So
gospel.
Matthew is writing his gospel to the Jews. Okay?
I'm a gospel.
Gospel. What does the word gospel mean?
A gospel.
You know what gospel means?
I'm a gospel.
What does the word gospel mean?
What a gospel?
A
It
person
means
that
good.
writes the Bible.
Good, good.
It means good news.
They're good to love.
I am good news.
The gospel means good news. Okay, so what's the good news?
I'm a gospel.
You know, if you go to the book of Genesis,
Just tell us
in chapter 5,
that's for Adam and Eve. We let them make it just they eat the apple.
and it talks about the generations of Noah. So what is it, when we say generations of Noah, what is it talking about?
It means like from Adam to Noah. Noah's
Okay.
and
Let's-
I'm gonna read.
Adam.
Can I read?
And Noah was Adam. 7 years old. Generation of Adam.
So it says in chapter 5, this is the record of the descendants of Adam. Okay, so it's giving you actually the descendants of Adam. When God created man, He created him in the likeness of God. He created them male and female. When they were created, He blessed them and named them man. So He created man and woman, right? That was how many?
Man and woman and they did not.
2. Remember we talked about the 2?
Okay, woman, they just added wool.
Okay, it says when Adam, guys, stop. It says when Adam was 130 years old, he had a son in his likeness after his image and named him Seth. Adam lived 800 years after the birth of Seth, and he had other sons and daughters. The whole lifetime of Adam was 930 years. What is the next? What is the line after that? Say, Taylor. Okay, I'm right here. It says in verse 6, chapter 5, Genesis chapter 5, verse 6. This is very important, guys. You'll have to get this. Genesis chapter 5, verse 6.
Verse 6.
I read verse 6.
It took mine.
So we are in the last 3 words of Genesis 5, verse 6.
I read.
In my Bible, it's set.
Said. Okay, 6, chapter 5, verse 6.
Oh my
The last 4. Yeah, the last 3 words. What is the last 3 words of that line? And he died. Then you go to the next line and it says when Enosh was 90 years, he had a son. And then you look at the last 3 lines of verse 9. And what does it say? What does it say, Taylor? Verse 9. Last 3 words. Huh? The last 3 words of verse 9.
Then he died.
Then he died. Right? Then you go to verse 12, verse 13. When again it's talking about another father had another son, and then what happened to him?
Then he died.
So everyone that became the father, then he had a son, then what happened to him?
He died.
He died. Now let's go to Matthew's Gospel.
Oh yay! I wrote the gospel.
Matthew chapter 1.
Oh yay!
See here it's talking about the genealogy of Jesus. Then we talked about the genealogy of who? In Genesis we talked about the genealogy of
Adam.
Adam. And now we are talking about in Matthew the genealogy of
Yay!
Chapter
But
what?
me.
Matthew chapter 1.
Yay! So can I read since I'm Matthew?
No.
Can I read?
No, man.
Because we don't have time.
I
It says the book of the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham.
Oh, that guy?
See what is missing in all of that genealogy if you read it? What does it not say? In the Bible, when the Bible doesn't say something, it's just as important as when it says something. You remember in the genealogy of Adam, every verse ended with what? Then he died. But Jesus' genealogy is a living genealogy. It never says anywhere that any of the fathers had a son and then he died. They are all living. You understand? Look at the Gospel of Mark.
Mark.
That's the next book over. And it says the beginning of the gospel of Jesus Christ. What?
Chapter 1.
Mark chapter 1. Anyone looking in the Bible?
I cannot.
Mark chapter 1.
Behold, all of you.
Found it.
Found it.
What does it say?
Oh, the beginning of the gospel of Jesus Christ, the Son of God.
Okay, so in Matthew, it talks about Jesus being the Son of Man,
Yeah, I'm
right? Of a king. He's a man. He's a king. Because he's the son of David. Here it talks about Jesus being the Son of God. And Mark is written to who? Who did Mark write his gospel to?
Gentiles. Gentiles.
To the Romans. Okay? And who was the one at the foot of the cross that gave testimony to Jesus being the Son of God? It was a centurion who was a Roman, and the gospel starts off with Jesus as the Son of God. Do you understand? It's a beginning and an end. Alright? And you see, you have to see how the gospels begin and end too, because also there's a relation. Gospel of Luke. Gospel of Luke, when they talk about the generations of Jesus.
Is Luke after Mark?
What chapter?
And the angel comes to Mary, and what does the angel testify to Mary? That he will be called what? He will be called Jesus, because he's what? He's the Son of God. You see it again? He's the Son of God. And now let's go to John and see what John has to say when he opens his gospel.
Where's John?
John is the next chapter.
Next book. Wait, what chapter?
John chapter 1, verse 1. Isn't that easy? The first line, first chapter, first verse.
No.
In the beginning was the Lord, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
So, if it was, in the beginning was the Word.
I think it's 10:27.
Yeah, it's 10:21.
It's thousands of God. Thousands of God. Hey.
10:18.
Okay, let's go to John chapter 1, verse 18, and then we'll end over there.
Verse 18.
John?
You want to read that, Grace?
I said I don't have to read.
I
found
it.
John chapter 1.
No one has ever seen God.
No one has ever
Okay.
seen God. The only son who is at the Father's side has
We are looking
been.
for. Yeah, read from 16.
Can I read?
Yeah.
Slow Matthew. That's
Loud now, so we can all hear. John chapter 1, verse 16. Be quiet, please. Grace is reading.
From his fullness we have all received grace in place of grace, because while the law was given through Moses, grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one has ever seen God. The only Son, God, who is at the Father's side, was revealed to him.
So what does John say Jesus is? Who does he say Jesus is?
the Father's
He calls him the
side.
Son of God. You see, in all the Gospels, the same testimony is given over and over again that Jesus is the Son of God. And this is why the Jews went to kill him. Because they said that there is only one God. And God cannot be a man. But Jesus came to say that, yes, I am God, but I came in human flesh. You understand? That's why we get that word incarnate, right? We kept talking about incarnate, in flesh, God in flesh. You wanna?
Did you understand what the Mass was?
Yeah, this boy? Me?
What's the Mass? What is the Mass?
Oh!
Remember Neil described it as,
When we go to church and we do the wine.
what does the priest say at the end?
Amen. Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
He dismisses y'all, right?
Yeah, he says amen.
That's where it comes from the missile, from the.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, I asked my question.
All right. Let's go ahead and finish with the Hail Mary so we can have some of these goodies.
Oh yeah!
Spirit. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and in the hour of our death. Amen. In the Father, Son, and Holy